Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck athletics.
How about a one-hitter thrown by Oregon baseball last night? Miles Gostola and Leo Ullman combining to toss a one-hitter. Jack Brooks homered. He's been on a hot streak lately. That's a pretty nice 6-0 win for Oregon baseball against UC San Diego. We're going to also talk today with Nils Schyllander, Kristian Kuld, and Jess Drummond on a jam-packed show. But Miles Gostola deserves a lot of credit today. The lefty was in command from the outset. He retired the first 15 batters he faced. First base runner against Gostola came with a walk issued in the bottom of the sixth on a really close 3-2 pitch. He got the next batter to fly out and then induced an inning-ending double play ball. Gostola faced 22 hitters, throwing first pitch strikes to 17 of them on the way to finishing the game with 8 strikeouts. The first hit against Gostola did not come until there were 2 outs in the 7th inning. Leo Ullman came out of the pen to retire 6 of the 7 batters that he faced. The Ducks ultimately throw a one-hitter between Miles Gostola and Leo Ullman. Miles Gostola post-game on perhaps the best start of his life.
Flo, Dan, our managers, they gave such a great game plan beforehand, and it was really just about executing what they told me to do. And along those lines, Burke behind the plate was unbelievable. Ryan Cooney played a great second base, along with Jack Brooks in center field, making a couple awesome plays.
How about Miles Gostola in that moment crediting everyone but himself? He's talking about Matt Floor. He's talking about Dan Straley from the coaching staff. Then he talks about the defense behind him, Berkeley Mabius behind the plate. You love to hear that from a guy who throws a perfect game through the first 5+ innings and a no-hitter into the 7th. And then on offense, Jack Brooks. He's reached base 3 times. He reached base 3 times in this game, going 2 for 3. A home run, a double. And for Jack Brooks, it's now a home run in his last, or 3 home runs, I should say, in his last 14 at-bats. Jack Brooks, similar style of speech, if you will, to Miles Gostola post-game?
The guys in front of me did their job and got on base, and I was just trying to do my job and get them around and get myself on base. And it led to something a little more than that, so it was a success. I just kind of had to do my job, and I picked them up, so it was just a good team win.
A good team win from a guy who, again, has hit 3 home runs in his last 14 at-bats. It was also the 3rd home run of his career that he hit. Part of the Ducks' 6-0 win. Gabe Miranda went 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored, and I bring that up because as Gabe Miranda has slotted down to the 7 and 8 spot in the Oregon order over the last 4 games, he's been really good. The Ducks got 6 hits, 4 runs scored, and 4 RBI out of the 7, 8, and 9 spots in the lineup. Talk about lengthening a lineup. When the bottom third of the order is doing that, you're going to be tough to beat. Drew Smith, and in a game like this, by the way, where Drew Smith failed to reach base in a game for just the first time this season. For the first time this season, Drew Smith did not get on base. And Ryan Cooney saw his 7-game hitting streak snapped atop the Oregon batting order. So even when guys like that, who have been so consistently amazing, don't have that sort of performance, when your 7, 8, 9 hitters do what they did, Oregon's going to be really tough to beat. 6-0 win against UC San Diego, part of a 2-game midweek series. It continues tonight. The Ducks throw the first pitch at 3:05, a 2:45 pregame show for us across the Oregon Sports Network in La Jolla, California, Oregon facing UC San Diego. Also, today is March 25th, which means that we are exactly 1 month away from the Oregon football spring game. 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday, April 25th. We'll have the broadcast for you across the Oregon Sports Network. The Ducks hosting the Ducks at the spring game. No word yet on how Oregon's going to divide the teams. It's currently spring break at the University of Oregon, which means Oregon football is not practicing. The Ducks will be back practicing next week, heading into the spring game on April 25th. A timeout earlier than normal today on Duck Insider because Oregon men's tennis head coach Nils Schyllander is going to join us. Also, Kristian Kuld, first time in the Country Financial Studio for the beach volleyball head coach. Jess Drummond on her squad's spring break trip as Oregon Lacrosse gets ready for Ohio State tomorrow, and some finals around Oregon athletics today. Keep it here. We're going to talk with Nils Schyllander, rivalries, on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark, and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs is probably the best you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Continuing on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Men's tennis is coming off a road victory at Washington, and we sat down with Nils Schyllander actually yesterday, the Oregon men's tennis head coach, as his squad is sitting 13-3 this year. And you know he's always excited to talk ducks and dogs, Nils Schyllander. Anytime it's Oregon-Washington in any sport, I think of Nils Schyllander, the Oregon men's tennis head coach. He joins us in the Country Financial Studio. Not just when you go up to Seattle and get a win, Coach. Every time it's ducks and dogs, I think of you. How are you?
Well, first of all, I see that as a compliment.
Yes.
Because this one, some just means more, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Some matches just means more, and this one means more.
Look, I've said this 1,000 times now. I love that you embrace it. Just call it like it is. You go on the road, you get a win. Take us through it. How'd you do it?
Yeah, I mean, we were almost too fired up, I think. We have a pretty new team. We played a little tight in the doubles. They had a pretty good crowd. Competed hard. We just didn't execute. But once so they squeaked out the doubles points, which I think was their chance to win the match. But as soon as singles started, I think we pretty much set this tone really quick. I mean, with Burton and Vlad getting off the court quick, get those first 2 points on the board, and then we just kind of rolled from there.
Well, so I have to tell you a little bit inside the broadcast, okay? So I've got the stats up because I was calling the baseball game while you all were competing. I was like, ooh.
I like it.
Washington got the double point. Like, okay, it's gonna be tough. And then you just roll.
We did. I mean, and the thing is, I feel like we're better than they are in doubles, and we've been playing great doubles all year. So it was really interesting. I wasn't sure how we going to react losing the doubles point.
Really.
But the guys, they were stellar.
Yeah. I want to ask you about a couple of your individuals, but first, just things that you love to see. You probably saw it on the Oregon tennis social media, but I wanted to make sure that we show a particular image. Just, Coach, break this down.
Where can
for
I see
us,
it?
Okay, break it down for us. Right, the fans can now see
there
it.
There you go. We got some
alumni.
We got some alumni in the picture.
That's great.
You know, Pepe and his kid is there. Who played here back in the day.
So cool.
You know, you got Nima there, and yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So for those of you that can't see it, I'll do my best. Bear with me, okay? This is going to be play-by-play. You talk about words painting a picture. That's the Oregon men's tennis team throwing the O, and there happens to be a purple W on the court where they're standing.
We didn't know that.
No, I bet not.
We had no idea.
This was just the best place for the picture, right, Coach?
Yeah, no, it's centered, right?
Yes.
It's centered.
Yes, very symmetrical.
It's still clean. It's classy. You know, clean fits.
And you did an O.
Yeah, we did an O. Clean pink outfit.
Pink uniforms look great, Coach.
They do. They're clean, aren't they?
Clean.
And yeah, it just happened to be a W logo there.
Yeah, there happened to be that. It's funny how that happens when you win up in
But,
Seattle.
you know, we've been on the other side, too. So
you have.
You got to enjoy it while you can.
That's right. And I know they feel that way, too.
Absolutely.
Right? Like,
it's a good, healthy rivalry.
We love a good, healthy rivalry. And, you know, I want to ask you, too, about having some alumni. I'm glad that you brought that up, just seeing the alumni in the photo. Like, that's got to be cool for you, Coach.
It's awesome. They're coming out, and, you know, some in the Seattle area, and they mark it on the calendar as soon as the schedule comes out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun to see them come back. Now they're coming back with their kids and their wives, and it's pretty awesome.
And the kids are hitting the backhand really nice, right?
Yeah. You know, but it's that's what coaching is all about, though.
That's right. That's right. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now zoom out for us, Coach, because we talk about Oregon, Washington. It's always so much fun. But your team's sitting at 13-3. You're 4-1 in conference. You're 10-0 at home so far this year, Coach. Just break down the season for us.
It's been good. You know, we started off. We had a lot of home early, but it's a very new team this year. We basically put together the team back in May,
right?
So you don't really know what you got until you're in that stressful situation. And I think we won a few matches early, and you know, 2 or 3 losses I think came really early. But we learned from them. That's the main thing, right? We learned from them. We just got them better, and this group has really come together. And there's some close ones in those 13 wins. There's some really close matches, and that's where I think the friendships on this team, they've taken over. They play for each other.
Yeah, I mean, you scroll through the results, and I talk about them on the show. It's like, 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, you know. That's critical in your sport, right?
That's chemistry often in those. Yeah. You know, they play for something bigger than themselves, this group. And they have each other's back, and it's kind of cool. You know, Lachlan Sr. clinched a couple of those really early, you know, but then the other night we play Indiana. It was a very, very good team. Vlad and Lachlan, who's been winning almost everything, they both lose. And all of a sudden, you know, other guys step up and win.
Right.
It's pretty cool. That was Purdue, actually. You know, and then all of a sudden Russell wins his match, and you know, it's good.
You know, we talked about this a little bit in the fall, but like just the dynamic of your team, it's such a divide, right? You have a bunch of seniors, a lot of freshmen, right? A lot of newcomers that have kind of made this roster. Brett, what's the chemistry been like? You touched on that.
It's a special group, you know. Win or lose, it's just a joy to be around these young men.
Yeah.
Every day is a blast. Going on the road with these guys is a blast. It makes me feel young again.
As it should.
Yes, it should.
As it should. Seattle's a good place to go on the road and win.
To win, and you know, and that's the only trip we don't fly.
That's right.
So I've been on the other end of it. When you drive that late night drive home, it's a little Seattle drizzle in the air, and it can be brutal. But you know, this was all flowers and rainbows all the way to Eugene.
That's right. Bus or van? I don't know.
We have minivans.
Minivans? Okay.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty cool. But my wife traveled up with Coach Aaron's wife.
Cool.
They got to be there, and it was fun. It was a good ride home.
The minivan is really when you bond, right? I mean, that's when the best team bonding occurs.
Yeah, they're yeah, let's just leave it at that, right?
Nils Schyllander, Oregon men's tennis head coach, joining us. Okay, roster breakdown. You've touched on a few of the guys. Just what have you seen from your team and the way that they've been so good in doubles, have had different guys clinch? How's it been this year?
Well, if you start from the top, we have 3 seniors, I believe. So Vlad and Pierre. Pierre's a transfer that came in. Unfortunately, he only has 1 year of eligibility.
Right.
Vlad, he's such a special guy. More than just tennis, he's just a great guy, great for the team. And obviously, Vlad goes without saying. So we'll miss those guys a lot. But they've been playing 1 and 2. Yeah. Lachlan, who's a senior, has had a stellar year. I think he's clinched 4 matches for or something like that. Yeah. A lot of them in the 3rd set. He's been a gamer. So we have those 3 seniors. Russell should be a senior, but he's really come into his own, and fortunately, he has a year of eligibility left, so he's coming back for a 5th.
All right.
You know,
love a good 5th year.
Yeah, and he's playing great. I mean, he won against Purdue, 1 of our 4 points. He won against Washington, 1 of our 4 points, and you know, he's decided to come back, and he's just a great guy. Yeah. And he's starting to play some really good tennis. You know, and then we have a group of freshmen. Sam came in from France, who's been doing great for us. So talented, and the sky's the limit for him. Cam Burton came in January. He's been studying our doubles, played some singles. He's so much tennis in his body. He's going to be one of the greats before it's all said and done. You know, and I'm missing some people here. You know, the older Burton, little Bert.
Yeah, remember, everybody, when we talk about Big Bird, it's actually the freshman, and then the little Bird is actually the senior. I still no word.
It makes no sense, but if you know, it does make sense though.
If you see
it makes no sense from the outside, but from the inside, it makes sense.
Yeah. But you talk about like Matthew Burton. I mean, you've gone through.
And he's really starting to play some good tennis right now. Yeah. So, I mean, him and Pierre in doubles have pretty much been a lock all year.
Well, I was going to ask you about that actually. I'm glad that you brought that up because like winning the doubles point's been really critical.
It's been really critical.
Always a big deal, and you all have been really successful with different lineups because fans remember like it's not always the guys that are in singles are the same that are the pairing off in doubles.
No, you know, and you know, Declan Gallagher, Ohio State transfer freshman. He's been great at 2 doubles. Got a lot of singles in him too. I expect a lot of him in the future. So those guys, they'll be more than ready when we need them. And then we also have some other guys that hasn't really gotten into the lineup much, but they're working super hard and they're talented too. So I feel like we have a lot within the program that's ready to contribute in the future as well. So I think we're in a very good spot right now.
Talking men's tennis with head coach Nils Schyllander. Again, sitting at 13-3, going to Wisconsin and Nebraska here on the backside of spring break. I imagine the weather's a little better here.
Wisconsin looks cold.
Yeah.
It's low of 20-something. Nebraska actually says 75 and windy, so I think we'll go from inside of Wisconsin on Friday night to playing outside.
Outside in some wind.
In some wind in Nebraska on Sunday. But you know what? I wouldn't put it past these guys.
I like it. What's the Big Ten been like this year? Break it down.
It's a gauntlet.
Really?
I mean, it's so deep. Everybody's good. There's every program. I think at one point all 14 programs were ranked.
Really?
So it's just, you know, but we're able to. We got some key wins early. I mean, Northwestern on the road is not an easy win. We got that done, and just kind of been rolling from there.
That was number 42 in the country at the time.
At the time, and they had some really big wins. I think they'd beaten Alabama, Memphis, some really good programs. So it was a good road win, especially with a team where you have a lot of new players. To get that road win early, kind of makes everything else fall into place.
Galvanizes the team a little bit.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Next home matchup for men's tennis. You can circle it on Friday, April 3rd, 3 o'clock at the Student Tennis Center. Michigan's in town after the trip to Wisconsin and Nebraska. Fun team to watch at the Student Tennis Center.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy. A lot of energy. It's a bunch of characters. I mean, anyone who hasn't seen Vlad Brios compete needs to get out there because it's a circus.
Let me put it this way, talking about Vlad. There's often a graphic or a photo, right, that our team will put together from any given matchup, and if it's a win, let's just say that you're going to know.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the things you can't teach, though, right? Some people have it, and he has it. I don't think I've ever met a human being that competes harder.
That's why you like him at the top of your lineup, I bet,
Absolutely.
right?
And it's the evolution of Vlad, though. He started as 5, moved up to 4, then he was 2, and now I think he's lost 1 match all season at 1.
Wow.
Yeah, he's lost 1 match. That's it. And even one he didn't get to finish against Illinois, who's top 8 in the country. He was up on one of the best players in the country, 6'4", 5'4", serving when the match stopped.
There you go.
So, I mean, literally, it's so awesome to see a kid like that play at that level.
That's cool. That's cool. Finally, just some keys ahead. What do you want to see from your team to be successful the rest of the way?
We just got to keep competing the way we're doing, because good things are going to happen. You know, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but you compete as hard as we do, which is probably our biggest strength, is we compete hard, we compete together. You're always going to have your opportunities when you compete that way.
You all been fun to watch. Nils Schyllander, Oregon men's tennis head coach. Hey,
thank
thanks
you, buddy,
for coming over.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
And
good work in Seattle, huh?
Good. We got 1 more year. We can say we won the last match against Washington. And, you know, the cool thing is with that one, too, though, we have a bunch of freshmen on the team this year.
That's right.
And they already said that they're not going to lose to them in their career. So they're off to a good start.
Things you love to hear as a head coach.
Absolutely.
Things you love to hear. Safe travels, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Nils Schyllander, always fun to catch up with the Oregon men's tennis head coach. And when we come back, we're getting to know a new head coach here at Oregon. Kristian Kuld, beach volleyball head coach, is with us for the first time next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Meditating with Jan from Toyota. Soften your focus and imagine yourself off-roading in a Tacoma. Breathe in, breathe out, and go from dreaming it to driving it today. That's Jan's meditation.
Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Meditating with Jan from Toyota. Soften your focus and imagine yourself off-roading in a Tacoma. Breathe in, breathe out, and go from dreaming it to driving it today. That's Jan's meditation.
Toyota, let's go places.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio with beach volleyball head coach Kristian Kuld. They're 11-10 this year, currently on a 5-match winning streak. We got Coach Kuld in the studio for the first time. Anytime we get a first-time guest in the Country Financial Studio, we first have to go, round of applause for Kristian Kuld joining us for the first time on Duck Insider. Coach, it's great to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Let's start first with the appropriate footwear, everybody. Those of you that are watching the show, that is a beach volleyball head coach right there. Well done, sir.
Love it.
Well
every day,
done.
Almost every day of the year.
I love that. I love that. Okay, now we have a tradition that I hope that nobody warned you about. Did anybody warn you about our tradition?
One thing that you'll find out about me, and I think my team can attest, is that I certainly do my research. And when I found out about a week ago I was doing this, I watched a few episodes, and then obviously yesterday too. So I do know what's coming, but you can introduce it however you like.
All right, 2-minute life story. We hope that you're going to knock somebody off the leaderboard. Goal is as close to 2 minutes as possible. 2-minute life story.
Oh, man, I won't cheat and use my watch right now. But
thank you. All right, on your mark, get set, go.
Well, okay, happy to be here. Born and raised Toronto, Canada. Older brother who eventually went to Harvard and owns a tech company in the Silicon Valley now. Older sister who does cancer research, English, and then French was pretty big in Canadian schools.
Sure.
So a little bit of a diverse background in that regard, and then eventually went to an all-boys private school so I could excel. I always knew I wanted to play sports in the U.S. My mom was American, dad was Canadian. They would grow up taking us to Syracuse basketball games and football games, and then University of Michigan football games, just driving across the border. Fell in love with just everything in the U.S. college experience. And end of high school, trying to decide between playing soccer, playing volleyball. Got into UCLA on academics because in Toronto, looking at Los Angeles, it seemed like a cool place to live.
Sure.
So did that, and luckily got in. Luckily was able to walk on in the team, play for the winningest coach in the history of the sport, men's and women's, Al Skates, and true freshman walk-on. By the time I was a senior, I'd earned a scholarship, so it was really gratifying in that regard. Really humbling, too, in the fact that the population of California is greater than Canada. So although I was one of the top athletes in Canada, I go to California and the school, and I was probably the worst on the team for the first couple of years. But got it together, and then after graduation, went to work in acquisitions for an investment company for 2 years, downtown Los Angeles, and all my friends were playing pro beach and indoor. Got very jealous, so I started a volleyball club as a side hustle, as well as volunteering. Started as a volunteer at Long Beach State University. Did that for the last 11 years. Eventually was hired as an assistant coach. Worked primarily with the beach team after the first 3 years, after doing both sports, and then I guess spread my wings this year. Got hired in June, and I guess the rest is history. Stoked to be here.
2:17.
Damn.
That was good.
Okay.
No, that was great.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Like, I asked this to an 18-year-old, and sometimes they're like 45 seconds because they're like, I don't know anything else to go. But you've been through different things in your life, right?
I did, yeah.
So 2:18. Okay, now as you can imagine, part of why I do this is I have multiple follow-up questions.
Sure.
Multiple sports growing
Yes.
up. I'm curious, just the value of that now in your life, and even as you have transitioned to coaching and just having athletes that have all these different skills, the value of multiple sports in your life.
Well, from like an athletic standpoint, nowadays it feels like everybody's so specialized. But back then it was really cool to be able to do. I think my true love in hindsight is tennis.
Oh, really?
And I played a ton of soccer growing up, and I was very good at it and had opportunities to play in the U.S. Potentially as well, and then kind of stumbled into volleyball and beach volleyball late in my high school years because my older brother did it, and I kind of copycatted everything that he did, and I was able to get some good opportunities with that and a lot of success really quickly, and just the timing worked out with being able to do some national team stuff. And not have to report on July 1st for a soccer team kind of thing, and being able to go to another quarter school in UCLA, being able to start a little later and play the summer before.
Interesting.
So kind of worked out that way.
Competitive with your siblings? You mentioned them a couple times.
Yeah, well, I love them dearly, but they definitely formed who I was. I was the youngest one who got picked on the most, but I think there's a lot of I've ran into a number of successful athletes and coaches who are all younger siblings as well. So maybe that's something that forms you in a certain way.
Well, I've talked to a lot of people over the years, right, and what I do, and it seems like that everyone always says, oh, yeah, the best athlete in the family is the youngest one, and maybe there's probably something to that. There's probably some study along the way that someone's going to do that's going to figure all that out for us.
Yeah, well, I think, at least in my regard, I was probably the most gifted one with the most time. Brother had probably better work ethic, and sister just high intelligence and everything too, but kind of got it, and I'm grateful for everything that came of it. But going back to your kind of original question about the different sports, so playing hand-eye sports in baseball and tennis was big. I wasn't big into contact sports, but I did play rugby. My parents would never let me play hockey, although that probably would have been our best sport as 6'2", 185 in high school. I was at the same stats as Sidney Crosby in that regard. So basketball as well growing up, but I think just the all-roundedness allowed me to prevent injury for a lot of my I guess, later years.
Well, and you even talked before, too, about, like, in coaching and playing in indoor and in beach, like, even in your own sport, there's so many connections but crossovers that are different between the two sports, right?
Yeah, I think this, like, indoor, there's so much more scheming and systems that we're trying to stay within. And in beaches, there's so much failure that there's so much creativity. There's no 2 points are alike. There's the wind and the rain and the snow in some scenarios, and the heat and humidity and the deep depth of the sand. Like, there's so many different factors at different universities or different places wherever you play, that if you go in thinking perfection, you're gonna disappoint yourself. So we pride ourselves on being okay with failure and having expectations that are realistic, and if you plan to be perfect, then you're not going to be successful. So we pride ourselves in finding other teams' imperfections and then being able to exploit those, just as they're doing the same to us.
Kristian Kuld, beach volleyball head coach. Now the big question that, of course, everybody always wants to know is, why'd you take the job? Why'd you come to Oregon here in the first place?
Well, it's interesting because in 2017 there was another coaching opportunity here where Matt Ulmer reached out, and there's a couple people who are also in the mix, and for whatever reason the time didn't feel right, and I didn't know at the time why. I couldn't articulate it. But, like, truly, University of Oregon is such a big brand, and it's in a power conference, and it's in a great part of the country, and a fun fact I like is that it's actually less than a degree north of Toronto in terms of latitude, and it's the climate was a lot like home, and it was nice to be in a part of the country where the trees change colors again, and you have more seasons, and it wasn't necessarily as potentially cold or rainy as somewhere like Washington, but I embraced the challenge, and it's just a different lifestyle. The size of the college town here is so much more up my alley than a massive city like Los Angeles or the Long Beach area, where I'm coming from. But I think it was time. I mean, I had stopped playing a little bit after the pandemic, after rupturing my Achilles, and it got to a point where I could really focus in on the next chapter of my life, and this opportunity arose. The school had a lot of support. The direction that the program's going with building a new locker room just before in September, just before we started this season here, and then currently in the process of the new courts, which is taking little nuggets from all the other well-built courts in the country, and I'm really excited for what that process looks like at the very end of it, and the adding of scholarships and assistant coaches who are full-time and can be around it. It just felt like the perfect storm to jump into.
Well, you mentioned your coaches and your staff there. Tell the fans a little bit about your staff and the guys working with you, the folks working with you.
I mean, I feel like every coach says this, but I really think I have the best staff in the country, because they're two people who are so humble, so selfless. None of us, we pride ourselves on not taking ourselves too seriously, nor each other in that regard. So the energy that we have is really fun. I've gotten a lot of good feedback from the team about how we're just fun people to be around, and I echo the same thing about them. But in Danny Woodley, he's probably one of the best teachers of the sport. He's so sound with his biomechanics, and he can teach an 11-year-old or he can teach a professional athlete, and he's done both. It's more the approach that he has is just so calm and technical, and it's really good to have that. And he's just, again, really good with scouting, as is Brooke. And Brooke Blutrich, he played at LSU 4 years, played with Kristen Nuss and Taryn Cloth, who went to the Olympics last year. So she had teammates with Olympians, and then she played 4 years there, got to the NCAA tournament, and then she transferred as a grad student to the University of Arizona, and then she played at the 1s and 2s pairs over there. So she has the experience of kind of two big-time programs, two different experiences, and then being able to come here and put that on or spread that knowledge with our team. It's just been a perfect balance, and having a female on staff has just been awesome for the team too. So very lucky to have them. They're both top, and I hope to keep them as long as we can.
We're talking with Oregon Beach volleyball head coach Kristian Kuld. We'll get a timeout, come back with the Oregon Beach coach, Coach Kuld, next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
When life blindsides you with an injury, you need a team that's tough. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people. This season, we're proud to partner with Oregon Athletics. Because whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, we're both determined to do what it takes to win. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of Oregon Athletics. Injured? Dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, 10150 Southwest 6th Avenue, Portland. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Sticking with beach volleyball, we welcome you back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial Studio. And we continue in the Country Financial Studio with our beach volleyball head coach, Kristian Kuld. Next on the trajectory of the program and some of the keys ahead with Coach Kuld. Talking about the trajectory of the program, too, Coach. I mean, you mentioned the construction in the new facility, the locker room now at Matthew Knight Arena. Let's start maybe with the locker room, just having that, the value of that for your team.
Yeah, well, that's something that I think is not a lot of schools have. I think they're starting to get more because it feels like in every sport right now it's an arms race to have the better recruiting pitch, so to speak. But really for our team, it's having a showers and your own personal space and laundry, and our managers do a great job of putting snacks and Gatorades and waters and everything in there daily, and it's proximity-wise, it's about a 2-minute walk from our office where we do all our film review and pairs film and scouting, and then it's about a 4-minute walk from the future of the courts. So it's just such an advantage to have something like that, and it's their own safe space. They do team meetings. One of our players also hosts mindfulness weekly on that, and it's just really cool to have something for them, and it's something that I'm not used to. The program I used to work for before, we thought it would be great. We had opportunities to share some space over the years, but never our own dedicated space. So it's been a really nice change, and it's lucky for the student-athlete experience.
It's pretty cool. Talk too about the construction. So the Hamilton project, where the Hamilton dorms were, remember the new beach volleyball facility, the courts will be within that project right near, really across the street from the Jaqua and right across the parking lot from the Ford Alumni Center and Matthew Knight Arena. Just an update on that. I know you mentioned something that I think a lot of fans will be excited about, that you're pulling in a lot of knowledge, it sounds like, to build courts that really do everything that you need them to do.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I like more about our facility than others is that it's a good amount of space. It doesn't feel so compact. The end line is far enough that we have room to jump serve and do more dynamic things, and don't feel as claustrophobic. We have I'm sure everybody will find out soon, but we have these retaining walls about 18 inches that serve both as ways to keep the sand in, as well as places to sit for fans or some of the student athletes. There's hope that down the road we can get a scoreboard. There's hope that I guess the proximity is just the best part. Like you mentioned, right next to the Jaqua, and right next to the locker room and the coaches' offices. Like, everything for their experience is going to be all right there. When they have to leave for class, they don't have to leave 20 minutes early, like 25 minutes early like they currently do, but they can leave maybe 5 minutes early or 2 minutes early if we do have that conflict. But I think I think the drainage is being done in the next week or two, and then the sand hopefully in the next month or so. Did a good job picking out the sand. That's going to be good for the climate out here, but also trying to make it deep enough that we're ready to go to any beach or facility and be able to compete and play there.
You know, it's funny you bring up like the material, right, of the sand, and suddenly I'm thinking like there's different grasses for golfers, right? Like there's all these different things that go into it, and it just sounds like at the end of the day it's going to be an Oregon facility, right? I mean, that's what this is all about.
Yeah, it'll be perfect for where we're at and the climate that we have, and it's a lot of thought has been put into it. Jody, our sports supervisor and one of the directors of compliance, she's been championing that process from the last few years, and it's been really cool to have someone in her that seems, I don't know if she's ever said no to me. It's just really cool to have somebody who's like, you know what, I'm not sure, let me find out, or a yes, here's how you can do it, or here's how to do it, and just having some support and having somebody like her kind of lead the charge on a new project like that has been incredible.
Problem solving. Well, now to the team as we continue with beach volleyball head coach Kristian Kuld. We're coming off a senior day, a couple victories, and then going up to Portland, got a couple more victories. You're sitting at 11-10 overall, coach. Just tell fans a little bit about where you think your season's at right now.
You know, I think I want to give all the credit to the players, because in reality, I came in with Danny and Brooke, and we tried to change the expectations and the standard, and it was being in a top 10 school for the past 11 years. It's really all I know, and I couldn't do it alone. So two of the players from Long Beach State followed us. And then we were able to get Elsa Snipes from ASU, who I think finished the year at 11th in the nation last year. And the goal was to bring in the culture, the standards, the expectations, the new normals from a top 10 school to this program, and just put it in and see how it goes. And the team has been unbelievable. They're fun to be around. They're incredible athletes. They have they have a thirst for knowledge and excitement to be around a group of people who are all in it for new reasons and new expectations, and it's been challenging from their aspect. I'm sure. I think they mentioned it to us, but they love it, and they're responding in a really really great way. But being able to have only 3 new players from top 10 programs and a coach and myself and Brooke, who has experience at top 10 schools too, it's been fun to implement a new new standard to a group that has been just very hungry for it, and they've responded incredibly well. 11-10 is it's great. I mean, our goal at the beginning of the year, our staff goal was thinking the program, I think the record was around 14 or 15 wins, I think, that the program had, and we're not chasing that win record. We were chasing like ranked wins. We were chasing, like, trying to assert ourselves above a certain level of teams in some of the non-power conference type schools, and be able to within a few years be in the top 20 is the expectation and goal. So I think our staff internally, I think we schedule hard on purpose. I don't think we're not in the business of just trying to beat up on smaller schools or junior colleges and just get a nice win record. So 500 was our goal this year, and hopefully more beyond in the future. So hopefully that's around 17 wins or so, and it'll be tough, but because there's a lot of good teams that in the back half of our season, but I think it's feasible. I think it's good to have high standards and goals, and we've had our team set their own goals, and within the first 2 weeks we accomplished almost all of them. So they had to sit down as a group, players only meeting, which I love, and they set their own new goals. They said they dream bigger, so to speak, and now that they know what they're capable of. So it's been cool energy to be around. We have a lot of fun, and I think that's just in the spirit of beach volleyball in general too, and I want them to love to come to practice and have fun, but we challenge them, no doubt.
When you mention the hunger of the team, like they want to be part of building this thing up too, I'd imagine, right? Like that's got to be a big part of this. They're kind of involved in a legacy in some ways.
Yeah, I call them the catalyst to what's here to come. So although some of them are graduating this year and they won't be able to experience the new courts, they're part of the new era, and I wouldn't call it a rebuild. It's just a build. We're just trying to get to places that we don't know exist yet, and it's been a fun process. But the team is just they love that, and Elsa transferred from ASU. When our first phone call, she was like, "Hey, I wanted to go to a school where I can build something and be a part of something and look back and say I did that." And there's a handful of people, some of the other transfers, and AJ and others have mentioned the same thing. And I'm like, wow, how cool is that? That they don't necessarily go in for their individual accolades. They're going for what legacy they can leave in the future. And I'm the one who's trying to tell them, hey, I want you guys to compete for wins records. Like, I want you to have the most wins in program history. I want you the most in a year, because I believe in two things. Wins are important individually and as a group, but I think if the more people that are competing for those wins and their own individual, I wouldn't call them selfish goals, but individual win goals, I think it creates a good level of competition for the team, and then in doing so you get more wins as a group, because everybody's trying to chase their own records. And then also win streaks is big to me, because I think to win any NCAA sport you have to go on a winning streak at the end of the year. So right now I think we're on a 5-game win streak, and then we have a couple more opportunities in Boise in a couple weeks that they're going to be hard, but if we can start get used to winning 4 or 5 times in a row consistently, that's kind of the run you need to put in at the end of the year to make some magic happen. So I think win streaks is important, and then individual wins for their own pride. I'm not as worried about our own wins as a coaching staff, because I think that'll come through processes, but it's fun to be around a group that's greedy in that regard.
That's cool. Well, you mentioned going to Boise on April 3rd is when the season continues at spring break. Coming off a team retreat, right?
Yes.
For you all, that had to be fun.
We did. We went straight from Portland. Some of the group stopped at Din Tai Fung on the way, but we all went to. I know, must be nice. And then we went to Bend, Sun River, and we had a pickleball tournament. We had Schyllander and Daly, 2 of our seniors. Actually, they won the Sun River Slam, it was called. And,
okay.
It was cool.
All right.
And so that was cool for the group. And then we did a nice hike on the way home yesterday. But it was a cool thing. They did s'mores and campfire kind of thing at the end of the other night, 2 nights ago. And I went after they went back to their room. I went to check on the fire to make sure it was not burning anything down and whatnot. But the coolest part is at probably 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m., and everybody was just laughing. You could tell the whole group that was in their part of the house or the property. Cool. They were just having such a good time, and people were playing pool and ping pong and everything. So it was nice to not be around beach volleyball for a little bit, but I know a lot of them are right back on it today. They're doing like captain-led practices or own individual sessions. So it's just this team's hungry, and it's cool to be around. And the retreat was great.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Kristian Kuld, I hope that this is the first of many conversations as the season continues. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Did we miss anything? What else should fans know? Anything that's on your mind?
I think big things ahead. We're looking forward to in the future having a lot of home games. Hopefully down the road. There's only so many you can do in our sport because it's the shortest sport in NCAA on the NCAA calendar. Right. So we jam as much as we can into it. I think the one thing I kind of wanted to mention too about our team is that part of our culture we have. We do something on road trips that are themed team dinners, and it's led by the students, and they pick the themes for the trip. They give me alter ego names, Kiki, and I'm sure they'll get a kick out of that. But it's fun to be able to compete really hard in your sport and then go to a spot and then just all be authentically ourselves outside of the sport. And I just cannot give enough praise to the student athletes here, and they're so fun to be around. It's so fun coming to work every day and just working with them. And it's going to suck in the summer when I'm not around them. So yeah. We'll get there when we do. But the future's bright.
I love it. Well, thanks for being a Duck. We're glad that you're here. Thanks for taking the time and letting us get to know you today.
Of course. Thanks for the time, and we'll do it again soon.
That's Kristian Kuld, the Oregon Beach Volleyball head coach. Their season continues next Friday in a tournament in Boise. Timeout when we come back. It's spring break for Oregon Lacrosse. They're hitting the road to Ohio State. We're talking with Jess Drummond, the head coach, after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Lacrosse hitting the road tomorrow against Ohio State, part of a two-game road trip here for spring break. They're coming off a home matchup with Northwestern, and we talked with the head coach, Jess Drummond, before her and the lacrosse team hit the road. Jess Drummond, Oregon lacrosse head coach, is in the Country Financial Studio. Okay, normally,
Hi.
we would be talking on a Wednesday, but we're actually talking on a Monday because the Ducks are hitting the road. Pretty much every Oregon team is on the road. The only home events this week are Oregon women's tennis.
Fun, though.
So it's just the way the schedule worked
Everyone
out.
should go to tennis then.
Go to tennis.
Yeah.
Outdoor court's going to be open, believe me.
amazing.
It's supposed to be perfect sunshine.
Fun.
Anyway, weekend review. What were your takeaways, huh?
Yeah, Northwestern is a really strong team. It was great to see our defense come out and we tried a new defense in the first quarter, and it looked awesome. We just, got to continue to work on it, and putting it in within that week of practice was really exciting to see those cost turnovers happen in the game, and we just got to finish more in attack. Like, that's been the name of our game. That's something that we continue to harp on, and just on game day finding ways to get it done and having that confidence when we step on that field.
Talking defense, though, you mentioned, tried it out. Seemed to work well.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so awesome. We'd worked all week on it, and there's some kind of errors throughout the practices, but they found ways to adjust and have that confidence, and doing that against a ranked team is really, really awesome.
Make it more difficult for teams to break you down, I'd
Yeah,
imagine,
right.
too,
Like having multiple types of defenses. Our man is also super strong, so you never know what you're going to see in conference.
We're talking, too, about the attack, right? Like, we've said before, just finishing. I feel like this is maybe even like a point for me to ask you about confidence. And, you see if you go in, Coach, right?
Yeah.
It could snowball in the right direction.
Totally. And we were talking about that, too. If that first quarter went just a little bit differently with all those stops on defense and finishing some goals on attack, that is a huge momentum changer for our team. And so, just really trying to ingrain in these attackers, having that confidence and that swag that you are good enough to be playing against these top teams. And we saw it against Maryland. So I'm carry that same momentum, that same confidence each game we go into. It doesn't matter who your opponent is,
Well, I know it's difficult to build confidence coming out of a loss, right? But we've discussed before, in that Maryland matchup, number 3 team in the country at the time, right? The stats are identical, right? Does that build confidence for your team? Can
I would
you pull
hope so.
things
I
out?
think so. Yeah.
I'm just curious. I don't know.
Yeah, we had we had a great week of practice. So I think as a coach, I'm man, You do this in practice. Do it on game day. Just do it on game day. That's the biggest pressure. There's the biggest change is that pressure in those moments of like, it does matter more on a game day, but, you're doing it in practice. Have that confidence when you're out there.
Before we talk about the road trip ahead, zoom out. How many dogs were adopted?
Oh, my gosh. I didn't adopt any. Sorry. But I hope at least all of them were. They were so cute. But there's so many dogs in Pape.
It was a great turnout.
Yes.
Pups at Pape.
Pups at Pape.
Massive success.
Fave event. That was awesome. So many fans. So many dogs. It was so cute. After the game, there's just like dogs everywhere running all over Pape.
Annual tradition?
I hope so. It has to be.
I mean,
I'm in.
It went really well at Oregon soccer. So Pups at Pape now is.
Yep.
I mean, we're on to something.
We're into
here.
it. Yes. Yeah.
But you did not adopt a dog.
I did not. But Jensen really, really wanted all the dogs. He was there during the game.
Right.
He skipped his nap time. It was great. I know. Good
How'd
job,
that go?
Dad. Fantastic.
Really?
Kid thrives outside. Yes.
Yeah.
He
Isn't
really
that
wanted
amazing?
to be on the field, so Ben had to grab him and pull him back a little bit. But yeah.
I get it. The choice to skip nap time though
is
it's
a real choice.
You are really rolling the dice, and playgrounds do wonders.
Yes. They do, and it's my fault. I scheduled noon games. His nap time's at 11:30. So.
Yeah, but you like noon games.
I
don't you?
love noon games, and if he can sleep before and after, he's fine.
Yeah. We've talked before about the scheduling and why you like those noon games, but I think it's been a success. Crowds have been fun.
So many fans. I
it's
just couldn't believe the
lunchtime
turnout.
at Pape.
Yeah. Get some hot dogs.
All in.
Have a great time.
All in. Jess Drummond, we continue. All right, now, road trip ahead.
Yes.
It's also a road trip for spring break and coming off finals week. So I wanted to take a minute to ask you about that. And just when you have finals week in the middle of a season, how do you handle that as a coach? How do you handle it as a student athlete? How do your student athletes handle it?
You do it. We're super supportive. We have great resources here. Eli's been fantastic. Shout out to Eli. Yes, big fan. But he, we just constant communication. Like if you have a final during practice or if you're final going up to practice, we can work around that schedule and kind of move what we can on our end. But the team is so great. We always talk about student first, student athlete.
Student first, student athlete. We'll press pause on our conversation with Jess Drummond there and get you a little more preview of their road trip to Ohio State coming up tomorrow. The Oregon Lacrosse team, 2 matchups on the road. It's at 3 o'clock tomorrow against Ohio State and then over the weekend against Michigan. Today, it is Oregon baseball game day. 2:45 pregame show if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour. Ryan Milano's down with the team. Taking on UC San Diego, a 3 o'clock first pitch. It's also on ESPN+. And men's golf, the team secured a second-place finish on their home course at the 2026 Duck Invitational. Entered the final round in a 3-way tie for 4th and had a home course advantage. Moved into the second spot on the leaderboard after some wind and rain was mixed into Tuesday's play. The Ducks ultimately saw Aiden Kraft perform exceptionally well. And the Ducks are now turning their attention to a road trip of their own for spring break. 2 tournaments over the course of spring break for Casey Martin's team. Acrobatics and Tumbling is also on the road tonight. They're taking on Hawaii Pacific this evening. You'll be able to catch it at 9 o'clock this evening. We'll have a full recap on GoDucks.com. See you tomorrow.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful.